It had been raining in Pawton for weeks. A soft, unrelenting drizzle washed over the cobbled streets, turning puddles into mirrors and alleyways into streams. But the rain wasn't what troubled the townsfolk. It was the whispers. The Grand Barkington Library, once the pride of Pawton, stood dark at the edge of the city square. It had been shut down for over a year after strange occurrences began. Glowing lights moving behind its cracked windows, voices murmuring through the walls, and the sensation of being watched. People stopped going near it, children ran past it, and rumours turned into dread. Mayor Tortoise, Pawton's elderly and wise leader, could no longer ignore the fear growing in his town. One rainy evening, with a heavy sigh and a mind full of memories, he picked up the phone and dialed the only number that made sense. "Detective Bruno," the mayor said into the receiver. "We have a situation, and it's getting worse." Bruno arrived the next morning, rain matting his fur as he stepped from the tram. A towering bear in a brown trench coat, fedora tilted low, and sharp eyes that had seen more than most dared to imagine. By his side was Pixel, a clever young raccoon with thick goggles, nimble fingers, and a backpack full of tools. Soon after, Luna the owl, graceful and composed, joined them. She fluttered in from the highlands, scrolls tucked under her wing. Drawn by the mystery of ancient knowledge, the three stood in front of the library's warped iron gates. The sky was heavy, the building darker still. Cracks lined the stone walls, and vines twisted up like claws. "This place feels wrong," Pixel muttered. Bruno nodded. "Let's find out why." The air inside was thick and cold. Dust coated every surface, and broken shelves lay like skeletons. Then a sudden sound, a whisper, faint, unclear. It came from nowhere, and everywhere. They paused. Another whisper followed, then another. Books trembled on their shelves. One suddenly dropped. Lights flickered on above them. Even though the library hadn't had power for months, something was deeply unnatural. "It's not just haunted," Luna said softly. "It's intelligent." Pixel activated a device from his pack. It scanned frequencies, light, sound, and electromagnetic waves. "There's something broadcasting in here," he said. "Localized, artificial." He searched behind a loose panel in the wall and found a small round speaker hidden inside. "Someone installed this," Pixel said in disbelief. Further inspection revealed more speakers, timed lights, sound triggers, and small projectors hidden behind bookcases. "It's an illusion," Bruno growled. Someone wanted everyone to think this place was haunted. "But why?" Luna asked. Pixel pulled a piece of fur from the panel. Reddish, soft, familiar. Bruno narrowed his eyes. The fox. The fox in disguise. A name spoken in hushed tones across Pawton. A master of deception, disguise, and manipulation. He had disappeared months ago, after his last failed scheme. Everyone assumed he was gone, but now his signature was clear. Fear, used as a weapon. They followed the clues deeper into the library. Strange markings on the walls formed a pattern. Luna examined the symbols. "These are the markings of the founders," she whispered. "There's something hidden in this place. Something ancient." Pixel connected the dots on his tablet. "These markings form a map." Bruno looked at the image. "A map to what?" Luna answered with certainty. "The Charter. The Pawton Charter, a legendary document from the city's founding, said to hold the original laws, secrets, and keys to hidden vaults of knowledge and influence. If the fox got his hands on it, he could alter the city's future." They hurried through the corridors, following the map, through the abandoned archives, and down a collapsed staircase into the earth. They came to a wall that didn't match the others. It was smooth, reinforced, and strangely warm to the touch. "There's something behind this," Bruno said. In the center was a small circular slot. Polished and waiting, Luna studied the markings nearby. It says, "Only the ink that wrote the first law may open what the law protects." Bruno reached into his coat. He pulled out the old golden fountain pen Maya Tortoise had handed him earlier. He said it was the first pen used when Pawton was founded. Bruno inserted the pen. The wall shuddered. Dust fell from the ceiling. Slowly, the stone split down the center and began to slide open. A vault lay beyond, lit by a soft blue glow. Rows of scrolls and relics lined the walls, untouched for centuries. And in the center, atop a stone pedestal, was the Charter of Pawton. They stepped forward in awe. Then a soft voice echoed behind them. "I knew you'd find it." They turned. The fox stood in the shadows, dressed in a long black coat, his eyes gleaming with pride. He removed his mask, revealing his unmistakable sly grin. "Thank you for unlocking it for me," he said smoothly. "You set up the entire illusion," Bruno replied. "The whispers, the lights, all to keep people out while you searched for this." "I did what was necessary," the fox said. "This charter holds the power to rewrite Pawton. I won't destroy it. I'll simply edit it." "You won't touch it," Bruno growled. The fox smirked and reached into his coat, but before he could act, Pixel pressed a button on his tablet. Suddenly, the room filled with sound. Recordings of the fox's voice, confessing his plans from the various speaker setups he had used. The fox's expression twisted in shock. Luna swooped down, knocking him off balance. Bruno moved quickly and pinned him to the ground. Within seconds, city guards, alerted earlier by Pixel's remote signal, rushed in and restrained the would-be thief. The charter was safe. In the days that followed, Pawton returned to peace. The library was cleaned, restored, and reopened. Crowds filled its halls once more. Children played in the reading nooks. Scholars pored over old books with smiles instead of fear. Mayor Tortoise stood with Bruno on the library steps. "You didn't just save a building," the mayor said. "You saved our history." Bruno simply nodded, looking up at the great walls, now silent and still. "Funny," he said, "how a whisper in the dark turned out to be a lie dressed as a ghost." Pixel chuckled. "Good thing we brought light with us." Bruno looked toward the sky. Rain finally fading, clouds breaking apart. In Pawton, truth had spoken louder than fear, and Bruno was already thinking about the next mystery.